Right, Shane, back in the building.
All right.
There we go. There's some skin in the game. So, what we're going to do is we're going to give Shane a great interview. I'm going to ask Shane all about himself, what he's been up to, what it's made him start in the fitness industry. And it's nice to get a good chat from someone who's been in the trenches, who's done the fitness game and lost a ton of weight, but you're still on a big journey at the moment, aren't you? Yeah?
Yeah, massive.
So we'll go through all of that, and I want to talk about what his goals are, what his pitfalls are, maybe what those foods are that get him kind of like, you know, trying to avoid, because they kind of tuck in maybe the biscuit tin, maybe ice cream. And it would be nice for you guys out there to see that you can lose fat quite quickly. Everyone's on a journey. People are going to find it hard, but it's all about motivation to get yourself back on track. So, when did you start fully committed to exercise?
January 2018, so what's that? Just under 2 years ago now,
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what made you start?
I kept seeing your posts on Insta, on Facebook, and obviously things like for me, I was thinking, Christ, I'm approaching 30. Got on the scales, was nearly 30 stone, I was £2 shy of 30 stone, and I thought, right, well, now's a better time than ever before to get on with it. So, really scared the crap out of me, to be honest. I thought, you know, I want to start a family, I want to do things in my life, and yeah, I just needed to make a change, really.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
And obviously you're saying that you're nearly 30 stone. Have you always been big?
No, not really. When I was at school, I was fit. I was playing hockey, I was running for the school, I was playing football every day. And then once I hit 16, 17, became an apprentice chef, got a motorbike, found takeaways, and things just spiraled, you know. You just naturally, as a child, you're always active, aren't you, as a youngster, but then it just naturally got worse and worse and worse, and yeah, just became a routine of coming home from work, sitting on my ass, eating crap, and that was that.
Now, I've always wanted to ask you this one, right? What would be your biggest way, right? Give me an example of your daily routine.
Oh,
so
Christ.
From when you wake up,
Yeah.
right? I want details.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
drinks. I want food. I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
a lot and honest as well. I don't want any like
no crap.
Yeah.
So I used to go, when I was back at my heyday 2-3 years ago, I used to go to bed with a 2 litre bottle of Coke next to me. No word of a lie, I would do probably 4 litres of Coke a day, fat Coke as well. Right, and I swear this is true.
It's like that's like
Honestly,
I don't even
mate.
like a found. That's like yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I'd wake up with a film on my teeth and stuff, and it's horrible,
My
right?
God, yeah.
I just fell into it. You know, I'm not embarrassed by it as how it was. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'd get up in the morning and I'd have, I don't know, 2 rounds of bacon and egg sarnies. So it's like, you know, 4 bits of bread, bacon, egg, butter. Fry it all out. You know, I'd have that, and then I'd go to work. Because being a chef, if I was on a split shift, I would eat. You know, you're picking at chips all day long, aren't you, in the kitchen, all the time. I'd go home, I'd probably eat another 2 rounds of sandwiches, crisps, chocolate, sit on my ass for those 3 hours and do nothing, and sit and play Candy Crush or whatever. Go back to work, then come home, either get a takeaway or be cooking again. So I'd be eating something like when I got home. That would always be, I don't know, burger and chips, something like that. Of course, washing that down with more fat Coke, and then whatever was sweet in the fridge to eat. Really bad, yeah. Be a big bar of Galaxy or something. That would be daily.
Yeah.
And I do remember once, like, one of my old haunts, we used to go to the Hungry Horse. The Hungry Horse.
Yeah.
I would not go in that place now if it paid me. And I remember I ate this thing called the Quadzilla burger, and
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I worked it out. The calories on my fitness pal was like, I think it was 4,800 on the burger alone.
Really?
And the chips, they were pizza top chips. It was pizza, marinara sauce, pepperoni, cheese. They were like 2,000 calories. And then I ate a sharing pudding on my own. It was like 7,000 calories in one meal.
You shouldn't be allowed to sell that shit.
That was insane. Absolutely insane. And then like wash that down with like fat Coke. I'll never forget it. You know, I was just like, wow. I used to eat that. I mean, that burger consisted, it was 2 fried chicken burgers, 2 beef burgers, bacon, nacho cheese, you name it, a brioche bun. It was insane, and that was normal.
Yeah.
Jesus, it was yeah, I reckon I was probably on 7,000 calories a day, probably more.
Crazy.
I'll make it the same.
Because remember when I first saw you, you told me you reckon you're about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? How different.
It's denial. Yeah, it's denial.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is a lack of education. I was training with someone the other day who's just started their journey as part of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Oh, I'm really going to struggle," because he asked me for his calories. I said, "Look, this is what your calories are." And he said, "Oh, I'm really going to struggle eating 2,800 calories a day." I said, "Oh, are you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm really struggling." I said, "Okay." And I'm looking at him thinking, "Okay, you're like 28 stone.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me you're going to," which is cool. Again, been there, done that, been in denial. And he said to me, I said, "So what did you have for dinner last night?" So I had a large vegetarian Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
I said, "Right." And he said, "It was vegetarian." I said, "Oh, okay." So I worked out something like 4,000 calories in that one pizza.
So basically taking the chicken off makes a difference.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
right, yeah, brilliant." So what did you drink? I had a bottle of Coke. Right, okay, only a small one though. Right, okay. So you're really going to struggle. But it is, and I think that is a lack of education. People just don't understand calories, do they? Which is...
Completely. I think calories, when it comes down to it, is the most important thing. And I bang on about that all the time, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, keto, you do Cambridge, we like Cambridge, don't we? And you do that, it's all calories at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's what once you understand the numbers game,
that's right.
it's easy.
That's right.
So when you were in your chef's whites, what were your biggest chef whites you had to wear? When you
5XL, I had to buy them from America, a company called Denny's. Mental.
It's a plug for you there, Denny's, all right?
Denny's, yeah. Honestly,
commission code, yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it was 5XL on the top. I had to buy extra large butcher stripe aprons because they had a longer toggle.
Right.
And I couldn't do them up around my waist. I had to wear it around the back. My trousers were a 3XL, but they were really, really big.
Yeah.
Chef trousers are naturally big anyway. But yeah, it was. And my shoe size was a 12. I'm a 10 now.
Really?
Yeah. That's how wide my feet were. It's crazy.
And how high does chef's whites go? Like, do they go higher?
Well, you can kind of, if you start importing from America, you can go up to sort of 6 or 7XL. Yeah, I was pretty up there. Yeah.
That's mad to think they do 7XL.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, I think it's, in America it is a more common thing, but I don't quite know how the American sizing works.
Yeah.
I think they're one up from us, aren't they?
Yeah.
So their 7XL would be our 6XL. Yeah. You can. You can buy bigger, but they cost a fortune, and they're cheap rubbish.
Yeah.
They're never any good. It was quite scary, so even getting work clothes was hard.
So what size are you at now then?
I'm an XL.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really good, mate.
Yeah. Well, I'm an XL on the chest. It was this bit here.
Yeah.
That makes it a 2XL. It's more comfortable than a 2XL.
Yeah.
But I can. Oh yeah, an XL on my chest is fine. Yeah.
So you're talking that bit there, right?
Yeah, this is
what
literally.
What are you gonna do with it?
So
what's gonna happen?
Tell me
the story.
I went to the GP.
Yeah.
And I said, I got all this excess skin, and he said, yeah, you had a look at it. And he said, he looked at my records, and when I was 26, I refused a gastric band. Right. Because I said, no, I'm going to do this. In hindsight, I suppose it was a good thing because
a good thing.
I did it my way as opposed to, it's not cheating doing a gastric band, but it's not really the healthiest way to do it, is it? And he said to me, if I'd taken that, they would have done an apronectomy, which is the removal of the skin on the NHS, but they won't. Right. Not that they expect it on the NHS, but they don't. And he said, it doesn't make sense because gastric band would have cost the NHS £12,000. An apronectomy costs £5,000. So I'm going to go private and do it. And I kind of said, so what weight do I have to get to? And he said, there's no kind of set weight. You need to go and see a private GP at like the Winterbourne, who will look at you and kind of look at my weight, my height, my BMI and all that, and then kind of tell me where I need to get to. So I've told myself when I get down to 18 stone, then I'll book the appointment and go and see what I need. So yeah, we're doing all right. We're getting there with that, but yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get it all removed eventually. I'm a big chicken, so I'm not really great one to hospitals, but it's not a huge impact on my life. You kind of, when I looked into it and kind of spoke to him, you think you'd be out of work. So basically, you're off work. You're out of the gym for 3 months. You're off work for 2 weeks. That's it. Yeah. And then you're back to normal.
It's good, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, but it is. It's just this. It's just
Do you think, does it upset you? Does it?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I've been through every stage of body consciousness there is. When you first met me.
Yeah.
I'd take my clothes off in public was a no-go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it. I'm not too bothered now, I couldn't care less now to be honest, but I have gone through stages like with this. Yeah. It is a little bit like, and one thing I did, I shaved my chest the other week, just never done it, I thought I'd give it a beat at it. And I felt...
How'd that go?
Well, it was fine, it was a bit weird. I mean, it's growing back nicely now, but it was a bit weird. But it kind of like took away my security. Right. Because I'm covered in, I've got stretch marks all over the place. And I went swimming. And I got changed, I was in the shower, and I was really quite conscious that I had no hair there to kind of hide anything. It was a bit weird, and I was like, oh, this is a feeling I remember. It was only for a couple of minutes, and then I was fine again. That's all. it doesn't bother me. Because at the end of the day, I'm proud of what I've done. So
100%, yeah, 100%.
It could be worse. I could be out here, and you know.
Do you think those simpletons out there though? Do you think people? Do you always being judged? So when you're walking around at nearly 30 stone, could you tell people are looking at you? Why did it make you feel? Yeah.
Yeah. See, I kind of thought about this. I remember when I first got my bike, my push bike. It was an August Saturday or whatever day it was. Didn't matter. It was in August, and it was absolutely roasting. And I'd just done about 10 miles on the bike, and I'd sat down on a bench because I was absolutely roasting hot. I needed a drink, and it was just horrible. And I was about 28 stone, and some bloke hollered some abuse at me out the window.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful. You know, you would get on that bike or something like that, and I was just like, whatever. But one thing I kind of felt was, I felt that as I lost weight, people noticed me more.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm kind of thinking, is that because I'm more confident? Is that because, you know, maybe I'm more conscious of people looking at me? I don't know. People do tend to notice you more.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably because you're smiling. You know, you're not walking around with your head down like this. You know, you're in people's faces, and we're not quite like that. But yeah, and people do judge. You get that. It tends to be the youngsters that judge.
Yeah.
But that's cool. You know, you kind of expect that from youngsters and closed-minded people as well.
You know what you said about that? I'm in London, I got there all week. People didn't talk to each other at all.
No.
And then you find when you smile at people and actually chat to people, people then are shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's a weird thing. Yeah. People need to talk more often.
Yeah. And the other nice thing is, I mean, like kids these days, I sound like an old man, don't I?
No, I agree with you now. I mean, both the same age, aren't we?
I mean, back when I was 16, 17, everyone was making jackass films, you know, and crashing trolleys into curbs.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, you know, there wasn't Instagram and all that, you know. So I look at like kids my brother's age, he's 16, and it's all about Instagram. It's all about being in the gym and taking it. And I think it's a good thing. And it kind of eliminates some of that, you know, piss taking and naivety and negativity, doesn't it? I think. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't had many people really see. You know, more people now is, you know, well done, good on you.
Yeah.
Which kind of, you know, I've kind of like on my social media, I've kind of been a bit patronising when people, you know, when people say to you, all right, big fella, or all right, slim, and all that sort of stuff. It really pisses me off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't say to you, all right, ugly, or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of, you're kind of pinpointing somebody's, what's the word? I don't know, you're kind of highlighting somebody's journey. You know, it's kind of, and it just annoys me. You think, come on, guys, you know, why don't you just call me by my name?
It's funny because you say that though, but I'll take messages like my mates, all right, big man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I do the same with Sanj, do the same to like Charlie, like Jonesy. I'll probably say it to you, I'll bring that, all right, big man. But I don't say it as in because you're big.
No, exactly.
It's funny, isn't it? But
it
like
is.
you probably, because you're sensitive to the subject.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And the same with me, like if someone says something to me,
Yeah.
I might pick on, someone, I don't know, for example, someone might say, you know, well, you got too much energy. Like, why are you always bouncing around? I'm like thinking, well, I feel normal. It feels like you're not normal.
Well, that's right.
Like
Yeah. People highlight your characteristic, and I do get this when people, you know, say it's all right, slim, or all right, tiny, or something like that. It's just all right, and it is a bit like, come on, that's just a bit. I don't get offended by it. So it just annoys me a little bit. You know, it's kind of like just be normal with me. Don't try and. You know, you wouldn't highlight somebody with cancer, would you? And
of course you would.
You know, oh, you've got cancer.
Yeah. I know what you mean,
It doesn't matter, does it? You know, who cares? But I suppose it's an older person's thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I sound really old, don't I?
No, not at all. I keep doing this. I keep looking back. When
It's weird how much you grow up, isn't it?
Because I think I agree with on social media. Because coming on social media, then I agree with you. It's good stages, right? And I think it's great to promote content and your journey. And I think posting what you were like with your top off, and then what you are now, and then what you're going to be like, etc. is amazing.
Yeah.
But I also feel there's a lot of hate on there.
Yeah.
Everyone's had a bit of hate on there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it can crucify some people, right? Or if you've got like a thick skin, don't think you've got a thick skin. If you just accept that you're battered and just get on with it, you're fine.
Yeah.
But actually, I think you're not on social media as much. Is there a reason why you're not on it as much, or are you just dig deep doing your own journey?
I think a lot of it. I mean, it's classic, isn't it? You know, I didn't see it at the time. I went through a breakup, and you see these people. I've seen a lot of guys in the same and women in the same situation as me, where they become single and home life changes, and suddenly it's only you got to worry about. So, what better to do but stick everything on social media? And I stepped back from Instagram and Facebook a little bit because I'm in a new relationship. You know, I kind of rather spend more time on that.
Yeah.
My journey became my life for so long, and it kind of you kind of transform, and your friendship group changes completely, and the way you're perceived changes completely. You know, and if you're walking around with your phone glued to your face all the time, it's quite antisocial.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, the thing is, this is your business, so you have to do it, and people understand that. You know, that's his business, and he's booming because he does it. You know, whereas for me, I was becoming obsessed because I didn't have breakfast without putting it on Instagram. And you fall into that trap. You know, and I kind of I just stepped back a little bit now. I kind of posted a bit. I've got a bit of content coming up. But yeah, I just I'd rather focus on myself to be perfect. People, it's nice when people see it, but I kind of think they'll slow it down. You know, who knows in a year's time where I'll be, and what I'll be doing. I might be promoting my own business, I don't know.
Definitely, yeah.
So, you know, in that case, it'll be something different, but I don't know. It's just, I became fixated with it, and it's great because everybody on Instagram and Facebook are so motivating because they constantly send you messages all the time where you get tagged, and it's really nice, and it's good to share the right stuff in it, but it's very hard. Some people post the same old stuff, and then you get into the realms of your content copy, and then you get into the realms of you've offended me saying this, you've offended me saying that. I got a bit fed up with it all really, because you kind of get in the line.
You can't do it right, can you?
No, you can't. No, and you know, social media again, it's not the be all and end all, is it? It's kind of, I'd rather live my life and
definitely,
do my own thing, you know, and it's not that. I don't know really. I suppose it's just learning that you can have a life away from social media, but because it's not my business. If it was my business, then happy days.
I feel like sometimes I'll go to a food place and I feel like I have to post about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's no point in going to the food place. No. But you can't just sit and enjoy the meal.
No, exactly.
And I have to kind of I try and do no social media day. It doesn't work.
No,
I always end up doing it.
Well, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes over your life, doesn't it?
Massively.
But when you kind of like, for me, when I was a single bloke, I laugh now when I see other guys on Facebook and Instagram that are posting constantly, checking into every single gym they go to, and I'm thinking, that was me. Yeah. You know, and now I've got a family life again, and things are completely different. So, and I suppose it's just how life is, isn't it?
Yeah. So what would be, I think, anyone out there, right, that wants to get started, that says they're, I say stupid, that's not the first would say stupid overweight, but you know, really overweight, and I'm talking, you don't mind me saying that, do you? Someone who's really big, right? Who says, look, the gym's not for me, getting in shape isn't for me, you know, I can't do it, right? I've never been in that situation, so it's easy for me to say, calorie deficit, walk more, eat less, right? And exercise, do those 4 things or 3 things, whatever you're going to say, and it's easy, right? Clearly it's not easy. What's the reason why you think people can't get started? Give that first.
Yeah, or if I'm honest, I suppose everybody's different, because it's kind of, I think people need to address the factors as to what, you know, why they overeat. You know, for me, I was overeating because I wasn't happy. I was overeating because I wasn't educated. And being unhappy in life, you know, the one thing I've said all along, if you lose weight, you don't suddenly become happy. Everybody says that to me, oh, you must be so happy. Well, no, because I'm still ugly, I'm still in debt, I've still got friends and family who can act like dickheads around me, you know. I've still got work stress, I've still got car trouble, or whatever it is going on in my life, you know. You still get all those things. You don't just become happy because you've lost weight. However, if someone would say to me, you must be really happy with your weight loss, I'd say, yeah, absolutely, I'm well happy. For me, I think kind of discovering why you overeat. I mean, there's so many different factors, you know. You could have a crap home life, you could have a crap relationship, you might not have a relationship, you might be lonely, you might be lacking vitamin D, therefore you're, you know, becoming depressed because you're not getting enough sunlight in your life. Absolutely, any one of those factors. For me, I would highlight what that issue is first. Have you got the wrong people around you? Are you in a job you don't like? Are you this, are you that? Is that causing you to overeat? And I think if you're honest with yourself, like you said earlier on, people, you know, and you say to people, write me, because I know you did it to me, write me a diary, how many calories you think you eat a day. And people say, you know, I don't really eat that much. It's bull. It's an absolute bull. You know, I'm really active. You know.
I'm glad you said that.
It is bull, and I think if I remember rightly, I wasn't hugely lying. I think I was more.
No, you were definitely bang on.
Lack of education.
Because I eat 4,000 a day, see. And like you think I eat 4,000 a day, and like I'm quite active though. But like, and then you were saying about the same. But then you're on your feet all day.
Exactly.
So it shows that you must have been eating that little bit more.
Exactly.
But it add up over time, didn't it? That's
absolutely.
the problem.
And that is, and it does. And it's, you know, people go on about, you know, people's metabolisms and different types of bodies, and everybody's different. Yeah, they are to a degree, but you can't take away the science. You know, calories in, calories out, you can't take that away. I think, you know, kind of for me, just the lack of education as well, which is, I don't think there's any excuse, to be honest, because 99% of the population are on Facebook, 99% of the people are on Instagram. Everybody can get to YouTube, and the information is there. There's people like you. You're ramming it down people's throats 100 times a day.
Yeah.
Other PTs are ramming it down people's throats all day long. So there's no excuse to not kind of. Nobody can say, "Oh, I didn't really know about the education." You don't really, calorie deficit. You know, when I saw you in January 18 banging on about it.
Still banging on about it now.
Oh, but it's in there now, and it's there all the time, and it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like the Dalmatian effect, isn't it? Once somebody says to you about, you know, you see one Dalmatian, and suddenly you see 100 in a day. Don't you? And it's there all the time. Every post, calorie deficit, and eventually it's got to sink in. And I suppose then it's the idea: do I want to lose weight? What am I going to gain from it? I don't really know. I think just being honest with yourself first as to why you're overweight. And I see your post on there when you say to people, what's stopping you from being in shape? Some people are really honest and say I'm lazy. You know, and I like those sort of posts because that's true. If you're lazy, that's fine. You know, and people are ashamed of it. You know, I'm lazy. Right, okay, you're lazy. Well, try not to be so lazy. And people think that these big diets are so crash course, but they're really not. You know, it's just simple. You know, when I first started, it was a case of instead of eating 3 packets of crisps a day, eat 1. You know, and still eat the same. And that's what I've said all along. You can still eat the same food. You know, I'm helping. I do a thing called social referrals through a company who, when people who were in my size when I first started. I was very intimidated walking into that HIIT training class with you.
Of course you would be.
I walked in, I saw you were in great shape. I went in with Anna, my boss, who, if it weren't for her, I would not have walked in that class. And big thanks to her for that.
I get her boring me every Tuesday and Thursday as well.
She practically dragged me into that. That class and I'm so glad that she did, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am. I don't think I'd be as far on my journey anyway. And that was intimidating because she's super slim. She's super fit. She's active. She's, you know, it is quite scary. So I'm now that person that people approach when they want to train in the gym. You know, so instead of being approached by somebody like you, who's lean and without doing anything wrong, you are quite intimidating to a person like me who's 37. Jesus Christ. But you shouldn't be, because it's not like you're not an approachable person. You are. It's just that mentally, physique-wise, you're thinking shit, and you feel inadequate, and it's just a natural feeling. And what I found is weird. I've been training with a couple of guys who are 7-8 stone heavier than me, and I said to my partner last week, I said it's actually quite a big eye opener for me to see their lack of movement. And what's the word? Flexibility and things like that, you know, and it made me really look at my form with lifting and things like that, and I think, Jesus Christ, okay, that's where I was. And it's such a weird. I don't ever judge anybody, but it's nice for me to see, like, Jesus Christ, I remember being like that. I remember not being able to bend down that far and squat like that, or deadlift like that, or whatever it was, you know. And 3 minutes on the treadmill and then knackered. And Jesus Christ, it's that's where I was. You know, I'm not miles ahead. I'm not in your league, but I'm still like, Jesus Christ. I'm weird that I'm thinking this is a bit awesome, you know.
But you can get people in like good shape, but mentally be not strong at all.
That's right.
That's the thing. I've realised that a lot. I realise you get people that look 6-pack abs isn't actually about happiness.
No.
So when you say about being happy, you could be happy in your weight as you are now. You seem like you've got a happy relationship, happy at work, happy with everything you're doing. It seems like you're doing really good with helping other people, the journey. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because you give you that and give you a 6-pack, you probably just feel just as happy as you are now. You see what I mean? It's nice, don't get me wrong, but I think when people get to that, they think happiness is about having abs.
That's right.
And it's not about that at all.
It's
it's about being happy with the stuff you've got.
That's right.
And the thing is, you've attracted other things around you now. Like you seems like you're in a great relationship, so you've attracted that.
That's right.
You train, so it means you're happier, which means you attract closer friends.
That's right.
And it's quite an interesting way. Like you said, you do find you go for different paths and stuff.
So you probably face the same ridicule as I do. People probably judge you just as much. I look at him, look at Mr. Muscles over there with a 6-pack. You know, and because you've got yourself in good shape, I suppose in a person like my 29 stone, I'm probably using crap shape. So you kind of, the ridicule is exactly the same as people.
Completely.
And I don't know whether that boils down to jealousy or what it boils down to. I don't really, you know, it's your life choice is to look like you do, and that's fine. You know, happy days, fair play to you. You've worked hard and you've got there, and you continuously work hard.
If I'm being honest though, I don't really care. That's a lie. don't get me wrong, I like looking good. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? However, if it was important abs were number one, they would have been 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, mentally strong's number one.
Absolutely.
And like walking like dogs, spending time with girlfriends, like high up there.
Yeah.
And it goes like dog's a girlfriend, I'm trying to work out which, yeah, but it's high up there. But then it comes down and like looking good. Normally I train just to de-stress, switch my brain off, come and smash the gym. I love it. And like looking good like a byproduct of it. But actually, the main reason coming in is I just feel like it's good for my mental health.
And other people go home and eat to deal with their stress.
Exactly.
You go to the gym. And so everybody's got different voices, isn't there? And everyone's got different things that make them tick. And so yeah, I think going back to what you said, I think people need to understand why and accept why they're not the weight they want to be.
Yeah.
And then work from it from there. Really, that's kind of where I would go with that. And people, misconception: you have to go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym at all, as you know.
I like it. Yeah.
80% diet, isn't it? 20. Gym only complemented my journey.
Or do something else.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go walking. You don't have to go spinning 3 nights a week or whatever, because people hate spinning. Don't they? You don't have to go to jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or running clubs or anything like that. If you want to just eat, in lower calories, then you can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to recap, just to finish off, what's your biggest bit of advice? So you've got someone sat there and they said I couldn't do it. You've told them obviously your journey, how you're doing it now. You're still on your journey.
Yeah.
What's your advice? It's not as easy like you said, calorie deficit.
No.
What would be your first thing to get someone to step through the door, exercise, get fit? What is it?
Well, for me, I suppose my biggest bit of advice to anybody on the journey is take photos all the way, hundreds and hundreds of photos. My phone's full of photos. And I use that as motivation, because I look back to where I was a year ago and I think, bloody hell, I've got, share the time hop thing. Jesus, look at the difference now. And keep your old clothes as well. I've got a few of my old clothes, which is quite interesting to see. My thing is, people say I can't afford a PT. That's crap. You can afford 40 quid on a McDonald's or KFC or Chinese. You can afford 30 quid on a PT once a week.
Yeah.
And even if it is just once a week, I was doing your HIIT club, and I advise people to go to your HIIT club all the time, because to me, that was my stepping stone, and then it escalated into the gym.
Yeah.
Because the HIIT is so uninvasive, the HIIT training I did with you, because it was so, you've got old, young, large, small.
Licorice, all sorts, isn't it, really?
It literally is every type of person you can imagine. There was pensioners in there was youngsters, there's bigger people, smaller people, unfit people, fit people. There's every type of person. And there's somebody who I know she's desperately trying to sort herself out, but she can't get motivated enough. And I tell a story all the time. Is that the night, when I went in there and you said about burpees, you slid across, you slid a chair across at me and said, right, you're just going to do it on the chair. And then you walked off, and I said, he's just so good in this respect that he didn't highlight that I was massively overweight. He just threw a chair, right, you do it on the chair, off, and then you were gone again. Yeah. Like a fart in a teacup, he's there 2 seconds, he's gone again, And I said, you need people like that who make you feel comfortable. And that's what I would say. I'd say get in there, look at your diet, start cutting things out, eat high protein, you know it fills you up. All right, but again, it's that people crave pasties, and I certainly did crave pasties. And there's days when I crave bread. I don't buy bread, but I have to go and buy a bit of bread, and then I'll have a piece of bread or roll or something like that, and I'm cool again. It's all good. And I was never scared to, if I fancied a McDonald's, I'd have a bloody McDonald's. Yeah. If I went over my calories, that's cool. Yeah. I looked at it the next day, and if I wasn't in a calorie deficit 7 days a week and 6 instead, I wasn't in a huge bad place and beating myself up. There's other diet plans, I won't name them, but other diet plans that demonise food and sin food and make you feel like a moron because you haven't lost weight that week. I think those sorts of diets don't work. Yeah. I would avoid those sorts of diets because unlimited, have as much pasta as you want, have as much fruit as you like or whatever. You don't give a person who's clearly got an eating disorder unlimited food. Yeah. What are they going to do? They're going to eat as much, and you don't teach anybody anything.
You don't eat a buffet. You're going to eat what you can eat.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can have a massive bowl of pasta. Well, hang on a minute, it's probably 1,000 calories in that bowl of pasta. Yeah. Don't be stupid, and it just doesn't teach you portion control, which is the next thing I kind of went through was my portion control. I was quite shocked at how much more. I remember Hayley Lovelace when she was in the group. Yeah. And she said she had spag bowl one night and she weighed her pasta and she had 6 times the amount of pasta that was recommended. Yeah. That was a normal thing. I look at her now, she looks incredible.
I mean, mad, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was like, bloody hell, she looks insane. Fair play to her. But again, I think that's just that lack of not knowing how much, and people just assuming I was up the calories.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was for me, and that kind of, that's what I would do to start the journey. Yeah, and then your journey just opens so many doors. I've got so many doors opening to me at the minute. It's unreal. Things I never thought I'd ever do. You know, it's quite interesting.
So you're 18 stone your goal weight, is that?
Yeah.
You said. And what you're at now?
20 stone 5.
20 stone 5.
Yeah, I was
so you're
29.
19. Sorry, 28, 20. 33 pounds, is that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, 33 pounds to lose.
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah, I was 29 stone 10 when I started with you.
What's your date then? Are you going to set a time on it?
No, I think some point next year. I'm not stressing about it.
That's fair enough.
I've got so much going on in my life. I've got so many different things going on. I've got, my training style changed quite a lot this year. I trained a lot more cardio fitness because I had the coast to coast, which was 55 miles on the bike. That was brilliant. And then I'm going to be doing Tough Mudder next year. It's a big challenge. It's a big group of people. I've put it out on social media. I was just slated a minute ago, but I've got loads of people that want to do it. So that'll be a different training style again. At the minute, my training style's changed. I'm strength training, so I'm in my bench press that's gone through the roof at the minute from where I was. So I don't know. I just see where it takes me. To be honest, I haven't got a clear plan at the minute. I'm quite enjoying doing what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm kind of focusing working in a gym environment as well, which is nice for me.
Yeah.
It's nice to be around those people. So as a sideline, which ties in with the social referrals, which is nice. So I'm kind of a couple of days a month I work in the gym. So which is nice to be around those sort of people.
Definitely.
And I like that. I think it's great, and it's got me on the ladder. It's kind of got me on the training I need to go where I want to go, and it's no secret I want to go into fat loss coaching, which is what I will do. But I need to do a bit more work on myself first. I've already started that learning journey, which is really nice. So,
amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So,
and then give me one fun thing about yourself, right? I like that. One fun thing about yourself. So, what is Shane like? What is your fun thing?
Fun thing, stupid thing, like buying clothes in shops, going into Hollister and buying a top that fits. Yeah. That's the highlight. That's the bit I find the best, the most rewarding. I spent so many years buying on Cotton Traders and Jacamo and cheap crap clothes or Next Big and Tall or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't have any cut. I was like, right, I'm going to go into big shops. I'm not scared to walk into Hollister, super dry, because I know I can buy clothes that fit in there. And that's been the most fun. And being active, being able to run again is just, I can't run for miles, but I can actually run. I forgot what that's like. That was a weird feeling.
I find the biggest problem in Hollister is getting out of the place.
Oh, it is, mate. Yeah,
it's black, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
With my 4 eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's good, mate. It's weird, and I can kind of eat anywhere now and not worry about people looking at me. I don't have to worry about what I eat. I eat what the hell I want. I'm not strictly calorie counting at the minute.
Yeah.
I am watching. So what I'll do at the minute, I'm tracking what I'm eating through the day, and then I eat what I want at dinner time.
Yeah.
So I know I'm in a deficit, but not massive. There will come a point.
The same as that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there will come a point where I'll get pissed off and go, right, that's it. I'm back on it strict. And I know that will come, and I know it will come at around Christmas time because it did last time, and it's done it for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to overindulge at Christmas. It's not necessary, is it? And I just need to, keep my eye on that, and that's. I judge it by the scales. Kind of right. Okay, so I fluctuate every day. I weigh myself every day. I know they say you shouldn't, but I like to.
Yeah.
And then I know, okay, right, I'm a pound up today. I'm 2 pounds down tomorrow, whatever. And then I just I'll reduce that, and I've trained myself to go, right, I don't need that, so I can actually just cut stuff out and not worry about it.
Yeah.
Which is nice, It's just it's good stuff, really. But that's been the most fun, is spending money on that sort of stuff. I mean, we went away to I took my missus away for her birthday last week and went to the Bath Spa. Now, you wouldn't have seen me do that 2 years ago.
That's smart. I've been there.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's nice.
I loved it.
Yeah.
2 years ago, there's no way you'd have got me in the Bath Spa.
Yeah.
Not for love nor money. It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I was quite happy. Weird stuff like that. It's just, it opens new doors. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about going out anywhere on those. Fine.
See, I'd never worry about stuff like that. I just worry my head fit for the door.
Well, there is that. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you'd have to. It is weird though. You do.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't even think about that. Bath by me, we just whack a pair of shorts on.
Exactly.
I forget that. See.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was like, oh, okay. You know, we went away to Woodbury Park the other week, and I posted. You know, I was in a hot tub like with just a pair of shorts on. Again, it's like, I wouldn't do that 2 years ago. It's like, for love nor money, and now I'm like, I'm proud of where I am. I don't care, whatever. But that for me, that's been the most rewarding part. Yeah. It's bizarre.
And then just to finish off, a bit of motivation. So anyone out there, tell them something. Tell them the camera. What do you want to look at the camera and tell them? What's they're sat there, right? They've watched this.
Yeah.
We might have had 2 viewers, right?
Absolutely.
Those 2 viewers, right? You want to motivate.
One of them's your mum and one of them's your dad. Yeah.
Yeah. I want you to motivate my mum. What can you say? What can you say to my mum to get her out? Literally today. Start today. Right.
Today. What can I say? Like I said, I don't know. Look at pictures of how you used to be when you were younger. I want to go back there. Stuff like that. I don't know. Look at where you can be. Focus on the where you want to be, not where you were. That's what I would say. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's perfect. And then what's your social media? Just
Big Boy Bacon OTF.
Right.
You'll like that. Obese to Fit.
Yeah.
That's good.
YouTube
stuff.
as well.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
We search that up. Yeah, that's good.
That's
Find me
perfect.
on Luke's page.
Yeah. We'll tag you all in that. Apart from that, appreciate it, mate.
Okay, top
Yeah.
man.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Over and out.